just a boy. Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am, but right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song, this is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song.
Hello, Star Wars fans. You know, there's just 341 days until Christmas 2024. And I want to remind you all, our good friend Sheev the Wise was in a pretty tragic car accident, pretty traumatic car accident just over a week ago, about almost 2 weeks ago now. And he just had another surgery yesterday. And he has a GoFundMe to help while he's off work, and he's got extra expenses related to his surgeries and the care he needs. Plus, he's got get a new car. He's got all kinds of expenses, and we want to try to, as a community, show Sheev how much he means to us. And I've got here's the GoFundMe. I put the link. Not only is it below, but it's in the description here, the full link. And you can see he's up to about $4,200. We've got 50 donations towards his GoFundMe. So if you guys have the ability and you would care to help Sheev as he's recovering, any donation would be helpful. $5, 50, 500, whatever you have available that you can support Sheev, we'd appreciate it. I keep his logo and his background here just as a reminder how much we love him and hope that he recovers soon. So Sheev, my friend, if you ever want to come on the show just to hang out, send me a link while you're home recovering and getting healthy. Just ping me. I'll send you the link and you can join us here. But until then, though, I've got my friend Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing good. Hope you're doing okay, Sheev.
Thank you. Thanks for that. And of course, we've sent out the link to our friend Star Wars Meg and to Bespin Bulletin. They're welcome to join us here as well. But there's
Man, we're good.
There's some news here at the front before we get into the news of the week and the controversies and the who's in, who's out, who's up, who's down. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. But there's a couple of shorter stories that I think are fun and certainly tied into Star Wars. The first is next week, just on Tuesday, Hasbro Pulse is having a fan stream for Star Wars fans. And it says specifically, join us for the first Star Wars fan stream of the new year, hosted by the folks there at Hasbro. Stream promises thrilling additions to your favorite Star Wars toy lines, including the Black Series and Vintage collection. So next Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, they'll be having this stream. So if there's a good enough release there, I may actually do a coverage stream of it following that, just to break it down. But so yeah, Baymax is right. Thrilling repaints and reissues. That's my expectation. If they exceed my expectations, I may actually do a stream where we come on and talk about those releases. But if it's just repaints and reissues,
What are you hoping for? Do you have like a thing you're hoping happens?
there's all kinds of things I'm hoping for. One of them is season 1. They told us with this Razor Crest that I have. It's a beautiful Razor Crest right here.
Yeah,
that we would get all of the things that interacted with the Razor Crest. And one thing we don't have is a season 1 vintage collection, Grief Karga. And Grief was certainly involved with the Razor Crest in season 1. The other thing that it interacted with this Razor Crest that's over here was absolutely critical before it got blown up, was the Blurgs. Blurgs, I have been, ranting on and on about Blurgs. Hasbro's just not cooperating whatsoever. Blurgs have been in every phase of Star Wars from almost the very, very beginning. We haven't seen them in any of the saga movies, but they've been in almost everything else. They've been in go back to the old TV movies that were made in the late 80s with the Ewoks, right? They're in those movies. They're Caravan of Courage, right? They're in
the old stop motion Blurg.
That's right. Cool. And they were in the animation. They've been in almost every single animated project, from the Clone Wars, Rebels, Bad Batch. We've seen them in all of those, and we've seen them in The Mandalorian. We saw them in the Razor Crest. We'll come out of the Razor Crest in The Mandalorian. We had Quill riding it, and certainly Mandalorian riding it. And with all of these Mando projects coming up, we'll talk about those in a minute. Where are my Blurgs? My vintage collection Blurgs. It's the horse of Star Wars. They come in different colors. You can put them in different colors. You can put them on different cards. They are absolutely teed up for Hasbro. They can keep reissuing these things and repaints and reissues forever and just cash the check. Cash the check. Make the Blurgs. So, of course, what they'll do is they'll give us another speeder bike, or they'll give us another something we already have.
Well, I need that repainted Ben Quadraneros first and foremost. So.
Yes.
With highly accurate Blu-ray paint, like in the Blu-ray edition. You know what I'm talking about? That variant. I need that one.
Yeah. We'll get the Boot to Eve Classic reissue from Pod Racers. We'll get everything except a Blurg before we ever get Blurgs. And it just makes me crazy. But that's my own rant. And I've gone on and on about it with other vintage collection collectors.
Those dewbacks tanked out. The dewback, the big dewback crash. We can't get a Blurg made. I mean, that's what it comes down. There you go.
The dewback, the dewback crash of
97. It was just it was hard. It was hard for all of us.
Yes. I know. I've got a custom Blurg. It was 3D printed, but that's it. I would love to get a vintage, and I also have one of those little kids Blurgs, right? But no vintage collection, no Black Series collection. So I'll keep
the little super deformed guys. Yeah, my son loved those, but those toys, those were big in our house.
They're cute. They really are. I've got some here that my wife started buying me. Let me see if I got them within reach. No, they're in the drawer over there. But anyway,
they're fun though.
I just keep going on about them. And I talked to Only One Kenobi, who's a vintage collector guy. He's a good friend of mine. I support him. And I've also talked with Bosk's Bounty, with two of my favorite vintage collection channels, and they're good friends. Yeah. And I've got them hammering on about the Blurgs as well. But they'll reissue another Chicken Walker or AT-AT, or what else do I have back here? A snow speeder, X-wings. They love it. They love just redoing the same things. We'll get Poe Dameron's X-wing again, or whatever. It just makes me crazy. So
yeah.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So those are the things. I'll guarantee you this, Jason. If they ever release blurgs, we will have a celebration stream where Santa comes on live and just loses his mind. That if that ever happens.
Yeah, well, if they make it, you get to buy a little family of blurgs.
I'll be buying the blurgs.
A little blurg parade. Online.
Here's the other thing to do. If they ever release them, they'll be like $75 each or something stupid like that.
Probably.
But I ordered something from Hasbro.
Hey, watch out.
Yeah. This is I know this always panics you when I'm like, Brian, we can see the label. No, it says Star Wars Santa, and it's to my public mailbox. So if anybody screen grabs that and wants to send me hate mail, it'll go to the public mailbox. And not to my house.
In this one,
but this I know what's in it, but you don't. How about that? Well, you kind of do. But
I mean, I'm just saying that.
Anybody who's read the description knows what's in this because the pipeline's kind of running low. But I go ahead and open this. Yeah, family of blurgs. We'll have a flock of blurgs. There'll be a Christmas blurgs pulling the sleigh. There'll be blurgs.
A flock of blurgs haircut. Like
there'll be blurgs everywhere. And then if they issue them on different cards, I'll buy them. I promise, Hasbro, I'll buy them. Hey, the Sabersmith. There's another collector right there. This great guy is a member of our
Thrawn kills all the land before blurgs.
So in here they've got the thing, and as you do as a vintage collector, you gotta examine the packing, because when they send them out to like Walmart or Target or whatever, they come completely destroyed. But this one came in really good shape. We got R2D5 or R5D4, R5D4, and I got this because I need it for my Mando. Right, I need this for this, and so this is on the Mandalorian card. This isn't from the old New Hope, right? This is refurbished R5D4.
Dude,
and
as a kid, I was obsessed with that figure carded. I bought it several times. And the very last Star Wars figure I ever bought at vintage at the store from like Return of the Jedi anyways, what was for sure R5D4 at a KB toy store. And I just like when he's on the card, he looks so cool. Then you want to open it, and then as a kid though, you're like, oh.
Well, I made one huge mistake. I ordered one. I should have gotten three. There's a reason three. One, to keep carded, which I need to do. The second, to pop the head off to put it with my Mando Starfighter here, and the third one to keep together like this, that I can put like on the shelf. So I should have got three. I only got one. I'm gonna have to order two more. But look, this is in good shape. It's the cards in good shape. Look, we got a nice flat card.
I mean,
I got a little bit of
the heck out of it, so it's doing pretty good considering the like literally the thrashing you gave it.
It is. And then we've got this. It's nice. They did a good job. So I got a nice R5D4. So what I'll probably do is go ahead and order two more. I'm going to keep this one carded until I get those, and then if they come in, destroyed, I will open those and keep this one. But we'll wait for that.
The one that we got in '97 that was so awful. It like split in two. It was like down the middle, and then there was a missile on the inside. It was like they did not believe in R5D4. Like they were like, listen, guys, we don't believe in this, but we've heard some of you want us to do it. And classically, the old one sold, so we got the data. So here's your weirdest, and it had like a solid leg in the middle that you could. It was the worst. I mean, I'm actually going to vote that R5D4 as the worst Star Wars figure of all time, probably for me. That has to be the worst one.
It would compete. It would compete. There's been some really bad ones even lately, though. Like the Black Series, especially. I think that's what broke Martin Keeler. Martin Keeler, he's the proprietor of the Zoovium over in London. And if you've never seen the Zoovium, the museum of all things Constable Zuvio, the Zoovium is absolutely worth your time. And
to be honest, though, Zuvio broke him, and he went
Oh.
down a rabbit hole of madness. So
maybe, but
the first
I'll tell you
breaking
what,
was Zuvio,
I
obviously.
took the virtual tour of the Zoovium,
Mhm.
and it was worth every moment. It's memories that will reside with me for a very long time. And Martin is an absolutely brilliant guy. He's so smart. He's got a great comedic sense of timing, and just a wonderful dude. But he's not in the chat. Don't tell him I said that, because he's actually when I see him, you have to say all mean things about him, like he's a terrible monster, right? Like that's the kind of friendship we have. But Martin,
remember when with that same Power of the Forest line, when they put out Princess Leia and she was ripped and looked like Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Like that 94 Power of the Force 95 Leia looks like the singer of the Chili Peppers. Like, it doesn't look like Carrie Fisher.
yeah, there's some. Well, I've got. You guys know I love Ray. She's a huge fan of Ray from the sequels, and I've got some figures of those. The Force Awakens Ray figure is not great. It's not great at all.
Were you online when they came after everybody because people bought it at Walmart, like the Ray figure at that time, like her Last Jedi design showed up at Walmart. And people bought it, and Hasbro started striking, like sending out like cease and desist things, because they just legally went to Walmart and bought a toy. Worst, like Hasbro at that time was so awful.
Oh, and true story. And I have a Black Series Ray that Hasbro put the bottom part of her leg is on backwards. And
that's cool.
So the calf is in the front and the shin is in the back, and then the foot is on forward. So you can't just twist the foot around and fix it. You could, you could twist the foot around because they're on there like a rocker. I got a picture of your favorite. This was sent to me here. Let me put this into the images. So if people don't know what you've been talking about.
Yeah. And when you bought the figure on the left, like at the store, it wasn't exactly clear. Like, if you didn't stare at it, like, you would just think you were buying kind of a R5D4. Oh yeah. Look how dumb that is. And the worst part about it is that they made them all stupid like this in buff, and they were really selling them though to Gen Xers who had grown up loving Star Wars and missed it, and they just did not understand their market at all. You know what I mean? Like, that's who was really like buying that stuff, and they're like, "Well, we got to add play value." And
let me go grab that Ray because I've got two left legs or right legs or right. No, it's hold on 1 second. I've got it.
Yeah, there goes Santa. Yeah,
Here she
that.
is.
But at that time, when those came out, I was like 14 years old, and I wasn't paying for stuff. I just went in the stores and snatched them off the card, and it's like, going onto the shelf. I wasn't a good team. I was a trouble.
There's the Black Series Ray figure I'm talking about.
With the backwards legs?
Yeah, she's got the backward leg. So it's right here. You can see.
I guess that Ray's a real shin hottie. Can I get a yeah? Okay, come on.
Kadun-thun. Yeah, so you can see the shin is on the back right here, right? And then the calf. But if you turn it around like the way it should be, the foot is going the wrong way.
Yeah.
Right. And you can't spin the foot around. So the foot is like, if the leg is the way it should be, and it bends this way, right? That's how it bends. But the foot is then just jacked up. Right?
By you doing this, like, Hasbro is like literally yelling at a sweatshop right now. They're like, "You guys will not get first dinner."
This is how they made it. Look at that. Like, this is crazy. When I did the unboxing, this is like, completely jacked up. Yeah. So my friend Martin Keeler actually sent me another one that's correct. Yeah. And I kept it carded. So, but this is how she was made, and you can't get this turned over. as you've mentioned, like this is some sweatshop somewhere. Somebody, attached that foot on wrong, because I can spin it around, but then, here's the fun part. How does this leg bend?
Yeah.
Well, it bends this way.
Did I ever tell you about how I got the
Right?
Phantom
Like,
figures?
that's not how your leg's supposed to bend. Like, that's not right.
Yeah, it's not right at all. That thing's defective.
So what I do is I keep her pose this leg straight, and then this one is bent. Like,
Yeah,
that's how I keep her on the shelf over here. But yeah, so Hasbro.
This back in the day, I was like really active before the Phantom Menace on the internet, and this guy sends me a thing, and he's like, "Hey, I could get you the Phantom Menace figures that nobody's even seen before. We hadn't even seen the designs yet. Like a Padme, It was Padme, Rick Alay, and Jar Jar Binks. And this guy's like, "Yeah, I'll give them to you for 100 each." And I was like, "Okay." And so I got them, and they came to me. And what was strange was all of the weapons, like Jar Jar's like staff and stuff, it was like on like a sheet of plastic that you had to like punch out. So it's like they like pretty much, how you get like models and you'd have to like push the pieces of the model out of like the little plastic stuff.
Yeah.
All these accessories were like that on them when I got them. And then I kept them right until like they around release, and I had them like that. And some other guy offered me like 125 for each one. So I was like, yeah. So I sold them all before, and then of course, thank God I did that, because those things were just everywhere. There was no problem with that. Yeah, there she is. Give it away now. Right, look at her. That is Anthony Kiedis with some big old knockers.
Went to the wrong window.
Yeah.
I mean,
sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner. There he is.
This is super attractive Leia.
Man, that's like Soviet Russia Leia. She'll plow the fields, dude. She's strong like ox.
Dragged Leia, but this. So what was sent to me when this was sent to me, it was like George Lucas's trans agenda.
Oh no!
Could you imagine?
Oh, there we go.
Just
started in '95.
So some folks you could tell are recent Star Wars fans because of the things that drive them into all kinds of irate tirades.
Yeah,
because go back to the 80s, my friends. Go back and see some of this nonsense. Right? It's always been kind of crazy. So we get back to the point is that there's this event next Tuesday. Okay. If they release something super exciting, super hot, then I will do a stream where we talk about that. All right.
Yeah.
These are great.
I have sworn off all collecting for the rest of my life the best I can. I'm trying to keep it going, but I wish you luck, man. I hope that event pans out for you.
Well,
I hope they commemorate this figure with like a, I don't know, next year, it'll be 95, 2005, like the 30th anniversary edition, maybe.
Yeah.
Reissue.
Can we get this one re-released? I want this specific.
Her and an R5D4 2-pack.
The worst of re-release.
Commemorative edition. Remember that? Remember when we did that?
Well, the other thing would be great is if this misformed Ray was worth, like $1,000, because that how it happens with like a penny or whatever.
With Ray Delay, and now we're at Ray Deformed. Good work, Matt Risman.
Matt Risman. Yeah. So anyway, this is it's good fun. It's good fun. Hopefully Hasbro gives us something more exciting.
I kind of like go back to the other one. It kind of reminds me of the guy Jimmy from South Park who has like the crutches. Like, that's what it reminds me of. Like it doesn't look like R5D4 with lasers. It looks like R5D4 with crutches. You know, what do you guys
or with crutches. That's 100% what that is.
Can we just do a show where we just roast Star Wars toys for the whole time? Because it's kind of fun. I kind of like it.
It's a ton of fun, actually. I'm having a great time. And then there's the you know, there's the controversy with these. Hold on one second. Right. So there's controversy with these guys.
Yeah.
Right? Because these guys won't stand up, and they're constantly like wanting to fall down.
Yeah.
like the joint, the way they're made, and they re-released it. You know, repack, repaint, re-release, and
the original ones would always get like a slight lean of one side or the other.
That's the case. I have to like put it against the wall.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. We're that bad with that modern plastic. Yeah.
Like this won't stay. Like it won't. Right. It's like it'll lean over. It's plop. He's on the floor. Taking this news. So much fun. So much fun.
Ron is requesting that you twerk on camera.
No. No thanks. No thanks.
Sorry, Ron.
I try to contain my collecting now to Mandalorian carded and Ray. That's the bulk of it, and then gifts. I get fantastic gifts. My kids, some of the fans, some of my friends send me some Star Wars stuff from time to time, so I keep those as well. Yeah. Authentic battle damaged ATST. Yeah, these are terrible. Yeah, it needs a walking cane. Maybe you should talk to that R5 D4 with the crutches. They should issue the ATST with crutches to match that R5 D4.
Well, Colin called you out. He has a point here. What is going on?
Oh, well, I have to explain this to kids all the time.
Right.
That these manufacturers, they allow the elves to make a certain quantity, but then if we make too many, it completely blows the whole supply demand model and throws the economics off. So we don't want to put
you literally take it down to that for these children.
Yeah,
that's a weird Santa. I'm not gonna lie.
Sometimes I have to explain economics, supply and demand.
Supply and demand, you little loser. Okay, here we go. All right. Have you even read Ayn Rand? Have you even do you even know what Tushi is?
Yes, I have. I have her book right here. But anyway, which you would not be surprised by at all, right?
She died. She died on Social Security. That's funny. Go ahead.
But I often have these discussions about Apple, because Apple, they're very, very tight on what they'll allow the elves to make, because we get lots of requests for iPads and iPhones. Like,
just tell them Apple likes slave labor and I don't condone it. So we let them do it with their slaves. We don't touch it over here.
Yeah, they're very litigious. Apple's a very litigious company, and they'll come after Santa if I make too many iPads. So good luck with that. So here we go. What I wanted to discuss is the news of the week, but I wanted to do it in a kind of different way because we get tons of news this week. And our good friend Bespin Bulletin, I had a great chat with him yesterday. He called me and we talked about things. But he's posting news as it comes out, and he's sourcing it, and he's accurately telling what is being reported. That's exactly what he did. He didn't report any misinformation in any of his articles. They're very clear. If you actually open them and read them, you can see what he's saying in there. And the whole thing about the Rey movie being delayed, the being indefinitely postponed, to being on schedule, to being whatever, those all came from sources which he cited very clearly in the articles and put them in context so you could see exactly what they were about. So Bespin Bulletin, great place to go get news information, and it's even better if you read it. So there's that. So I thought,
it's usually a good sign that as a grown up who puts on their big boy and the big girl pants to do your own reading. That's usually kind of a step one. I know it's kind of fun to go to the nerd and like do my homework, nerd. But if you kind of want to know what's going on, you kind of got to read it yourself.
You kind of do. And, we were talking about reading skills right before we came online. Jason and I'm a girl dad. I've got 2 girls that I raised. And one of the things that we really focused on with the kids as they were growing up is reading in their reading skills, because I think that's fundamental to learning and being able to succeed in life as a whole. Like reading skills will unlock all kinds of other things for you when it comes to technology, arithmetic,
being
science,
able to learn on your own.
Like all these things. Yes, you can learn on your own. You can find source material. You can, if your reading comprehension is high, then it unlocks the world to you. That's been my belief, and that's what we believed when we were raising our kids. So, reading, critical skills. But we're going to go through here. And what I've done is, I keep going on about Ron Kill. Well, there's that too. Readings for dorks. Yeah, true. That's also true. That's.
I mean, it does suck like reading like Walter Mitty or something in school. So that's when you make the nerd do it. But when you want to know the nerd stuff because you like the nerd stuff, you got to read it on your own. It just turns out it's the way it works. Because then you end up doing a tweet, and then you end up having to like go, well, you know what? I'm just going to keep blaming Bespin Bulletin because I can't admit I'm wrong.
There's that too. That too. So I thought, I keep going on how awesome it would be if Lucasfilm gave us some sort of fancy version of this, right? Then you can use icons and you can use different things, which is what I do for my day job. I'm not giving them that much effort because they're not going to do it. And I just wanted to do this for fun as a different way to cover this week's news and talk about like the what if scenario, not the Star Wars what if that was rumored. That's I don't believe for a hot second, but the what if Lucasfilm were actually give us a dashboard kind of thing that gave us the health and status of all the active projects. And they could do something, as I said, a little bit more fancy than this, a little bit more like, use icons and do all kinds of fun stuff. It'd be great. And then what you could do is you could come in and you could, monitor that. And if the health or the trend or the release date, any of that changed the status, you would have real news. And part of that would require them to be honest. They would have to be accurate and honest with what they were posting and keep it current. So they couldn't like post this and then ignore it. Every day they have to go in and update and tell us the status of things in a very honest and forward kind of way.
Right.
They're never going to do. Because the plausible deniability, I think you covered that earlier this week. And part of what Bespin also talked about is with the whole Rey movie. Let's take that as a starting point, and we'll jump into the scorecard.
Like game of semantics that has been played.
Yes, right. Yeah. So Lucasfilm never come out and at Celebration when they had Daisy Ridley come out and they did the whole announcement. They never said coming to you May of 2026, Rey, the new Jedi Order. I don't know. Whatever.
That way they could play what they played, the cards the way that they did this week.
Yeah, they never said anything, right? And so then the news comes out and says, hey, we've got a new Jon Favreau, Mando and Grogu movie. It's going to be next. And you're like, wait, I thought the Rey movie was next. Well, Lucasfilm never told you that. Daisy said that she believed her movie was going to be the next one, and we get all excited about that. And it's, hey, we're going to get a Rey movie. You get excited in whichever way, right? There's positive excited and there's negative excited. So people got all kinds of excited about it. But they never did tell us this is when this movie is coming. And so when they come out and then they say the Mando movie is next, well, we don't even with that have a date. We can presume because they gave us this schedule. It says we're going to release movies.
they're acting like it's business as usual, but that's literally a second Mando movie and not the other Mando movie that they announced.
Right.
So like it's once again, and for the last, I don't know, 2 years practically, that Rey movie has been the first movie.
Yes.
Was there a quote Rey delay? There was. But you know when that Rey delay was actually publicly announced, when the Mandalorian and Grogu was announced. That's when they said this is the first movie. That was which by definition means Rey delay. Rey delay.
Right.
And then
Right.
but then once somebody comes out and says, "Oh, there's been an indefinite delay," they're like, "Oh no.
Well, let's be clear about this too, because Bespin didn't say he heard it was indefinitely delayed.
No,
he reported
Real did an article that used that term, and for the record, though, they used the term correctly.
Right. If we're going to talk semantics, they use the correct term. But the point is, we still don't have a date for the Mando movie.
No,
we can connect the dots because they gave us, we're going to release movies this day, and this day, and they say this one's first. You say, oh, first must mean this day. Oh, right. This one's now second. That must mean this other day. And we're figuring that out. But we don't have that. They didn't tell us that. And if they come out and then say, well, the Mando movie is actually December 2027, you're like, well, wait, what happened? I thought it was 20, because we don't know. And that's part of the problem, right? So the Rey movie has been delayed indefinitely. Doesn't mean it's the same place that Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron is, which, by the way, I didn't remember to put on this list. But anyhow, that's it's not on the. We can add it. We can add it, but that's where our starting point is. So everybody's seen the news. We're all familiar with what's up, what's down, and everybody's covered it. Everybody and their brothers covered it. And I thought this would be a fun way to cover this with the information we have, and we can work our way through. So let me not an active discussion. I decided to add this just recently. So let me just put in Rogue, right, Squadron, and that was Patty Jenkins. Platform was theatrical movie. It is red. Oops. I spell right. Red. It's dead. Right down.
Yeah, I mean,
status.
Yeah, Kathy Kennedy said it could be a TV show, but that was just
indefinitely delayed.
Yeah.
All right. Target release date, we have none. TBD, like never. Right. That's what we know. Right. So that's how we're going to go through this. I think it'll be fun. Hopefully it'll be fun, and we don't get too, stuck on all this nonsense, right? And we can go through here. So I put these in order that I kind of thought, and then put all the Disney Plus projects first, and then the theatrical movies second. And I believe that the Bad Batch season 3 will be next. So I know all the work is done, all the animation's done, it's ready to go. So I put current health green. And it's trending up, I guess, but because there's nothing
coming out yesterday.
That's what I heard today for sure. No, I don't know. I'm joking.
I just see people on Twitter continually saying it for absolutely no reason. Jennifer Corbett had a salad. Oh, you know what that means? It's the salad days, you guys. That means the trailer or something like that. Like what?
It's coming Tuesday. So I put post-production. Is that what you would call it? Like,
I don't know. I think in the can.
Can. We'll put in the can. Right? In the can. So again, I just put stuff in here just meaning it's done. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
Let me do that. Right, ready to go. And I have target release date spring of 2024. Do you agree that that's generally, because they've not given us a date? We don't have a trailer. We don't know, right?
For Bad Batch?
Yeah.
Yeah, just leave it alone. You're on the right track.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't touch a thing
on that.
Okay. So then The Acolyte. Here's another one I think is in similar status, right?
It's in reshoot.
It's done. It's is it in post production? They're doing any reshoots?
Yeah, it's in post. It's in post production and reshoots. So yeah.
Did you say the cool word to say post prod?
Just you got it. You got it.
Reshoots.
Yeah.
There we go.
Mhm.
Post production reshoots.
Yeah.
And is it? Do you agree that it's scheduled summer 2024? Is that?
It's going to be the first show of Star Wars show of a live action show of 2024, from what I understand. And like Bespin is guessing that it would be August because they like August so much.
Okay,
And,
that's summer.
Yeah, and that's like his guess. And I think their goal is one show in the first half and one show in the second half, but that seems like they won't make it. So that's why I do kind of tend to go with that summer is likely when we're going to see it.
Yeah, so I'll leave that as summer.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: if they were to actually do this, right, and they could put summer. We don't know what month that is. We don't know what day that is. But then say tomorrow they decide to tell us it's going to be August 4th. I don't know. Make up a day.
But then they'll just end up fighting about, is it the fiscal quarter? You know how they,
whatever. Yeah, from social content creators. Yeah, but they could change it from summer 2024. We come in tomorrow and it says August 7th, 2024. You'd be like, oh, there's news. I can run with that, right? Because if you were paying attention to the dashboard, you're paying attention to the statuses, you would see that change. You'd be like, exciting news. We have a date, right? Yeah. And they could. It'd be so easy. So we'll leave that as it is. Next, Skeleton Crew. Status. I put post prod as a thing. Is that fair enough? Are they post production in the can? Yeah. What do we say?
It's probably done. I mean, it's most likely probably actually done. Okay, and again, but it's the second show. Like I said, some people I think it might have been on your show. I was like, Disney doesn't know what to do with it. Yeah. And when I said that, it didn't mean like, oh, it's crap. They don't know how to make it. They don't know what to do in the story or anything like that. It was like, no, they don't know how to release it in their current lineup of stuff. Like it's sort of it's the step kid of the whole thing right now. It doesn't really fit well with the flow and the plans.
Yeah. Yeah. And I put fall 2024 and I saw, I think Matt Risman said it should be the end of October. Right, skeletons, October, Halloween. Yeah, I get it. That'd be cool.
Yeah, but what I've heard is you basically have a window on that bad boy between Halloween and Christmas. That's where it's supposed to fall. So when somebody asks me, I just say expect November. That's just kind of where I go, because you got like about around 2 months worth of content on a weekly schedule. And so, I'm guessing they wouldn't start like in December into 2024. So I'm guessing it's probably like November.
And just for the record, what I put here, I put fall. I'm going off of like meteorological calendar. So winter starts December 20th, like midday or whatever. So if it's any time before December 20th, that's fall, right? Like October, November. So that's what I put fall there for. Yeah, and that may be it. Baymax asks, have you heard anything about the quality of it? How's LFL feel? How's Lucasfilm feeling about it? You've mentioned before how like they're putting all their ducks into the basket for Acolyte, right? That's the make or break. Like that's
the one. Like I don't have anything else I could really say that I haven't said before. Just like I heard it scales younger. I heard it's like campy, but it might be fun. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird because it has like such a strong talent pool who put it together. But once again, is it like a bad super group of musicians? I don't know. I have no idea what to expect on that. Just because there's a bunch of great people doesn't mean it's going to be a great product in the end. But Yeah, so like I said, on that one, I don't really know what to expect. I don't know, like I love the Goonies, but it doesn't mean that they achieved it, right? So we'll have to see.
We'll have to wait and see.
I liked the leaked trailer I saw though. I mean, it looked like it has promise to me. So but yeah, it's kind of. I honestly don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna come out and it's probably gonna be like pretty fine or okay, like probably like a 7 out of 10 or something like that. But I think because it's going to be a little campy and because it's going to scale younger, I think it might massively turn off like certain adult fans. You're just going to be like, no, thank you. I don't want this. So I kind of almost expect it to be controversial just because of that. But
very good. Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Andor season 2. We know that we got news this week that filming is ramping back up, right? The sets are being put back together, and there's just a few more days of shooting for Diego Luna, right? Yeah, Diego said he only had like 7 days left when they stopped. So we know that's Diego. That's not the whole whatever.
It was like 2 weeks left of shooting to do when they stopped.
Yeah.
If that's
oh, good. So if Diego had about a week of it, they had another week after that, and then some reshoots that will invariably happen along the way.
With Gilroy having to leave during the middle of things, like there could be some stuff that wasn't what he wanted, and that.
Well, we had a really good discussion about this. I think Bespin brought it up that said, look, if you're shooting in a certain location and the foliage is like summer, full blown summer or spring, right? You've got flowers blooming, whatever, and you shoot, and the same flowers aren't there, the same foliage isn't there. Then there's going to be a disconnect between.
Well, it goes from green to like brown, gray out there, like in Wales, from what I've seen. Yeah.
Maybe they could be in a drought situation where the grass starts to, and then they got to water and they got to try to make it green.
And for them, it's like if they film out there and it's brown and green, but you go there and it's gonna be full of snow. Not even the North Pole. It's not even possible now.
Right.
You know what that's like? You shovel that snow.
I do. I've got a good bit outside right now. I need to go shovel because it snowed overnight and through the day today. So we got a couple inches. It's not too bad. So I put current health green, trending up. Current status filming. Am I close? Is that what you'd say?
I'd say reshoots. I'm not positive about that. Yeah, I just leave it as filming.
I'll put filming and reshoots.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
that might be kind of inaccurate, but I just get the impression, and so don't. This is like my opinion. My opinion is that there's sort of going to be a combo of the reshoot phase and the actual phase going on concurrently to make up for what happened. So that's where I think they're going to be, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. And we should be clear. This is all just opinion and for fun. Like, this is by no means are we giving anything here that I would.
No, I'll tell him to shut up now. Kathy says to shut up. Okay. You've said too much.
That's nice. Thanks. I appreciate it. That's good. I put target release date undefined 2025. Is that right, or is it maybe winter 20?
Which one are we on now?
Andor season 2. Is it targeted for spring? Do we know?
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine it comes out before Mando. So my opinion again, it would Andor would likely be the first one of 2025, and Mando would be the second one.
Okay,
Mando, right? If they do it,
so we don't know if that's spring or summer, though, right? No. We don't know.
So I could really only visualize this in my brain as first half and second half with the game that they're playing it. It seems so.
Right.
And when I say the game, I don't mean like it's like a bad thing. I just mean like it is kind of a game, where we're kind of like guessing where they're going to put
it. Right. So the next one I put Vision season 3, and this becomes this is just fandom speculation that there will be a Vision season 3. I've not seen anything that says a Vision season 3 is in the works, in the plans, in the discussions. Do you know anything at all that you would?
I've heard Visions 3 talked about as if it was a thing, as if it's,
Okay.
but I don't know for certain, but I would expect Visions 3 in 2025 probably.
Okay. So if that's the case, would you
Yeah.
say its current health is green or amber? Do we even know?
Well, it's going to happen. I believe 100% it's going to happen, and that's also why I asked a source about that what if thing, and they're like,
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. And I said, okay. So I just didn't want to waste my time talking about something that's that, and I'm just of the opinion that Lucasfilm doesn't need to do what if, which is actually a Marvel comic, by the way. So it's like that is what if is a Marvel series of comics that they've now turned into a thing. So a Star Wars what if is Star Wars Visions. So
I agree with you. That's what I said. That's what I said on Twitter. I said we have this. It's called Visions, right?
Yeah.
It's not the same, but it's close. It's Star Wars version of it, right? So Star Wars, what if this would be unknown?
I did find interesting is those like Lego leaks that they have, like, like the Dark Millennium Falcon coming out and stuff like that. That might line up with that quote, like what if kind of concept, and that might have been what spawned the rumor from the start.
Yeah, this is never discussed. I'll just put it like that.
Yeah.
And this is like, nah. Like I don't know what else to say, right? So we'll put what if in a category like that, right? So you see what we're doing here. We're just having fun. We're kind of
like the old Republic movies and TV shows. But anyways, yeah.
Real Ben, he says, what if Star Wars does a what if, the fandom's going to go crazy because they'll be saying we want this instead of this. That's true. They'll say, oh, why couldn't we get the what if instead of the sequels? Why couldn't we get the what if instead of Mando season 3? Like, that's 100% the case. All right. The next one, Vision season 3. I'll just put even. All right. It's trending even. I don't know. It's trending up, trending down. We don't know. I mean, even is neither up or down.
I do expect it to be a thing. I do. But I don't. But it's also, it's one of those. It's kind of like a low interest show.
Yeah.
When I say low interest, I mean like if you were to go and you're talking about Star Wars at a bar with industry people, what if is not, or sorry, Visions isn't going to be what comes up. Nobody's going to really care. So that's one where it's like, yeah, there's not a lot of rumors on that stuff because your average industry cat isn't interested in it.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
Tales of the Jedi season 2. This I put in the same category as Visions because I've heard like a lot of folks talking about, of course they're going to do one. Season 1 was so good. Season 2 is going to have to happen. So what do you think?
Oh yeah, it's green. Definitely
okay. Green. Definitely green.
Mm-hmm.
And trending good.
Yeah.
Green.
Yeah, it's up. I mean, it's good. It will happen. Yeah, we will get that.
So, what would you say the current status is?
I would say in production.
In production.
Oh, nice. Yeah, on that guy.
All right. Target release date. You said 2025, right?
Well, see, on Tales.
No, you didn't. That's what you said about Vision.
I think that could be this year.
Tales?
I think it could be.
Huh.
I could be wrong because it's not one that I've actually kept up on that much. And I heard some stuff about it like quite a while ago, like when we were doing Ahsoka stuff about it. That was like credible. Okay. And that was back during the Ahsoka time. So I think we might have something from Tales of the Jedi this year. So.
Mike Porter, you're going back. I do like some good ELO.
Yeah,
the Electric Light Orchestra, they got some strong stuff out there. Which album? I have to go back and look because my cousin had this and I would listen to it. Her name's Terry Lynn. I love Terry Lynn. Growing up, she was one of my favorite cousins of all time. Kind of going different directions in our lives lately, but Terry Lynn was great and she listened to ELO. I loved ELO and I just can't I don't know the album she was playing, but I love it.
Last Train to London is the best bass line of all time, and it completely destroys disco. He's like, oh, you want to see something from disco? Oh, you like the Bee Gees? Let me show you a little something about that. And by the way, also, he's pretty much the fifth Beatle now. He does all the Beatle stuff after Lennon, all the remasters and the fixes and stuff. Jeff Lynne is the guy.
Yeah. Next, Mando season 4. Now this has been in the news. It isn't. It's a thing. It's not a thing. We don't know if it's a thing. What's the thing on the thing? I don't know. And if it Disney, we're doing the pretend, right? We're doing the pretend. We get to make up the rules and say what we think. This is just our opinions, you guys. Mando season 4, current health. How do you feel?
I know for a fact from people in Southern California that they're being told that they're going to do Mando season 4. Yeah. So the question is, are they lying to their own people? They're going to get rewarded. They're going to end up probably being on the Mando movies and stuff like that. So, but are they feeding them a bunch of crap just because they don't know yet? And like, to me, it sounds, I talked to one source and they were like, are we still doing that? They were kind of like laughing. And I was like, I don't know. Are you? And then I didn't get anywhere. I felt they wouldn't know. I wasn't going to pry, if they want to tell me, they can tell me. And, so I am, and then I heard a rumor that there was that, when they were pivoting from the season 4 thing to taking part of that story for Favreau's first film here, they were gonna take the finale and then expand that story, the finale story of the season, into the film. Yeah, and then there was talk if they had their cake and eat it, could eat it too, because the strike ended when they wanted it to, which it did. That it might be a 6-episode season of the show. And then, but that even is like tentative because there's still other things, that other little stories that they can still do if they have the time and they want to. And now that Filoni's film is moving into what sounds like the 2028-ish time period, I believe that's what they were saying yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah, so to me it seems like, oh, that's a lot more possible now. There's a little bit more room, I think, than they were on a very tight, like, this is impossible kind of schedule. Point.
Right.
And so if I had to bet, I do think it'll happen.
Yeah. I'm going to give this amber status just because of the ambiguity.
Yes.
Right? It may be green, but this is, again, our opinions, you guys. This is our opinions. My opinion is it's amber only because of the ambiguity. I think that it's green, but I can't prove it, so I'll say amber.
I did a rundown in my brain about, like, when is this going to film, just based off of what, friends are saying. And when I started doing it, we're like laughing, and then I remember, like, Besman brought it up. We started talking, and we're like, this still might end up filming in October, just like it was supposed to, like the previous year, but like a whole year later now.
Yeah,
like,
1 year delay on
it. Yeah, we really might end up in that kind of spot, And I kind of think, though, I mean, on one hand, a really good Mando season would be a good confidence builder to put out before the film. It would be a good, and I don't think they went out and said, let's make a Rocky season that some people like and some people don't. I don't think that's ever what they plan on doing. So, can you just go, oh, we're going to make it good? It's not just make it good. Right. So, but I also, think they're in a really delicate and weird place because Mando season 3 didn't land for everybody. The trades are dogging on it, and when they're talking about the stuff now, and you end up with Skeleton Crew being one of the things that's going to release, and that's one I believe is going to be controversial when it hits. And so you're going to be like, oh, here, let's make confidence in this movie, and then here's Skeleton Crew. Now get confident, and it's like, they're going to go like, Mando 3 didn't make me happy, and I don't like the little kids and Skeleton Crew. And then and so they're in a weird place. I don't think that, it's their ideal trajectory on that front. So yeah, man, I would leave it. I would leave it as Amber. I do think in the very very near future though, we're going to have the answer to that. Not even from Disney.
This will be the fun part because we can revisit this and we can change it from amber to green, or we can move it from up here to down there.
Yeah,
right. It could be. We could do what this will be fun. I'm hoping,
Joe. We can do whatever you want.
That's nobody. You're not my boss. I can do whatever.
You're Santa Claus, man. I'm just hoping you don't see what I do when I don't want anybody watching me.
Current status, then. What would we say? Because the word was that they had the script written before it went into the strikes.
Yeah,
writing a script, that's part of production. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing about that. So back in the day now, way back when, I'm almost like don't remember the time. It's been so long. I had heard they were rushing to get the like scripts in a place where they could go because the strikes were coming. Lucasfilm was doing all these productions, overworking everybody, making a crappy environment across the board. And so as that's happening, it gets around, the scripts are done. I think I might have been the first one to report that there were scripts actually. But then as time went on, I learned that the season 4 scripts weren't finalized scripts. They were like, we can get going. There's draft. Obviously, there's several drafts of these things that will occur during that. They weren't final drafts of the season 4 thing. So he still had to, Favreau and whoever was helping, whoever else was on it was still going to have to do revisions and stuff like that.
Sure.
So in the process of pivoting to the film concept and so on, I had heard that like, it's actually going to be better for Mando season 4 because the earlier episodes are getting like a little bit more love for that. And then it was like, that film thing is actually going to happen. And it was like, okay, so now what happens? And so that's where it's just a bit kind of confusing from on the outside of the company when you're just hearing these things.
Well, yeah. What I want to put here is it's in production. We can put that, and then
here's the thing: is I know they're telling people that they are coming back to work on Mando season 4.
Yeah.
So is that good enough for? I mean, that's at least pre-production. The intent.
Okay, I'll do that. Pre-prod.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. And let me ask your opinion on this though. So like last night I was talking, my daughter and I are sitting at the dinner table, we're eating, and then like I was like, hey, do you want the Mandalorian and Grogu movie or do you want the Rey movie? I was curious just like as a kid because I know how much she likes Grogu. And she like thinks about it for like a few seconds and she's like, I want the Mandalorian Grogu movie. She's all, but I haven't seen Rey in so long. That was like her answer. And she's like, and I've seen Grogu like on TV. And she said that was kind of where she was coming at from it, you know? And then I started thinking though, I was like, is a season 4 of Mandalorian a good idea? Because is it better to make it scarce? Because like when you get down to it, I obviously feel like Mando season 3 didn't give me my Din and Grogu that I wanted. It was like they were like it was about other things and other people. Like so, a movie where he is the clear defined protagonist with his little sidekick buddy. That's pretty attractive to me. And so is it better? Do you think is it better to do a season 4? Like not what we want as consumers of everything, but for the brand, the Mando brand. Is it
absence
better?
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah,
and it would be better to take a little time. And let folks build some demand for to miss it and look forward to seeing another iteration. That's a good point. Like if these, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but if these series would truly like end, right? Mm-hmm. If the Mandalorian story, let's just say, ended with the original Paper Moon storyline, right? So it ends. We watch the outro, and we get a post credit scene of Grogu coming back to Mando, something like that, right? It's a true Paper Moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that ends. It ends. It's done, and you just leave it. and then come back 5 years later,
Hey,
something
Sam.
like that, and say, "Hey, we've got another Grogu story, Din and Grogu story," and you launch another show. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Did I tell you my paper moon with a twist idea?
No.
It's really short. I was like, well, if the son from Mortis should return in Dave Filoni's movie, we may actually have a story where Grogu does need to step up with the Jedi, get Yoda's lightsaber, help out, that kind of thing. Like, do that. You know what I mean? He's got his warrior skills. Man, we might. I predict that would be a great moment. That would be like little Yoda at the end of Attack of the Clones, but for this generation, if they were to do that correctly. And so I kind of like am expecting it. And I'm like, what if the paper moon thing was never actually, what if it's not him going back to Din? It's him going back to Luke. And we got double paper mooned. That's our 2 paper moon, But
yeah, Brian Stone, good idea. What I should do is take these and put it into a Google form and let the people
decide.
Let the people put in, what do you think his current health is? What do you think his trend is, his status? I give you those 3 questions with each of these, and then we can post that. Let the people vote. Let the people put their opinions in. Is this green? Is it up? Is it good? And then we can all participate. That'll be fun. I think I'll do it, Brian. I think I'll do it. At Monger, make me miss Grogu the way we missed Ahsoka. Yes. So very good. So what do we put for Mando season 4? What's the target release window on this, do you think? 25, 26? What do you think?
No, in 2025, we're going to have Cassian, and we're going to have what do you call it? Wait, what's the other one? Oh,
Ahsoka. No. Yeah. Andor season 2.
Andor was supposed to be the other 2025 show. That's what it was supposed to be originally.
Yeah. What's the other 25 show then?
Just those 2.
What 2?
Andor
and what?
And Mando 4 would have been the 2025 shows.
Okay.
If you were asking me this 2 months ago, that's what we would have said.
Okay. I'll put that undefined 2025.
Yeah. Which right now I'm like, yeah, it's a weird one because I don't know how close to that release date they would get with the season of the show.
Yeah.
Or not. And I don't for a sec. I think that if they do the season, it will enhance the film. I don't for a second believe you will need to watch one Disney Plus show to go see that movie. That's not how film designs their theatrical slate. A trilogy, they will design it where you need to see the first of the trilogy, but they design every trilogy or every theatrical endeavor to stand on its own for a theatrical audience. So completely agree.
But Ahsoka season 2, we can call that green, and we can say it's trending up. We've gotten lots of good stuff about that. Dave gave us a little hand drawing and all of that. Current status, pre-production?
I'd say it's active development.
Active development.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Like, I mean, it's like I don't think he's actually written anything. So he might be telling, there's always a chance he's telling them like, oh, draw me blurgs with wings. I want to see blurgs with wings in it, or something like that. And
you guys want? I'm gonna poke the bear. Ready? Okay. You want to poke the bear? But Jason, is it greenlit?
No. Nope. You aren't getting anything greenlit, and I mean, well, but he is the weird one in the sense that like he is part of the green light. He doesn't green light stuff, but his producing partner of the last like 20 years or something does. So it's like Dave's intentions are practically a green light, but if we're talking about the process, yes, it will be greenlit. Is it greenlit? Technically, I would say no, it's not. But will it be? Without a doubt, it will be. We
were talking about it before the show. I almost added a column for greenlit. Yes, no, like where you could actually put a green light,
yellow light, red light.
Yeah. Like put a stoplight thing with the different, thing lit. And I thought, no, that's it. And to be fair, Jason's trying to help educate all us dummies to make us just, this much smarter. but we're resistant. We don't want to learn. We're like, no, Jason, greenlit means what I think it means. It doesn't matter what you say.
Well, because what it is that they all think it's like they think all the production in Hollywood is like their parents promising them to go to Disneyland. Well, you promised, and it's just like, no, that's not how it works, though. I mean, Lucasfilm itself has ups and downs all over the place when you look at how these productions go and stuff, but
Sure.
they are not any different than the rest of Hollywood. The difference is these people aren't following anything but Star Wars.
Right. That's right.
That's why it's like, yeah, this is pretty normal. That's why Kathleen Kennedy isn't fired. Why isn't she fired? Well, why aren't they all fired? Because this is how it goes, man.
Right. So, what would you guess the target release date for Ahsoka season 2 would be? After Mando 4?
Well,
if
we believe the rumor that 2028 is Dave's movie, I would probably put it for 2027.
Okay.
Because I mean, you have to get so this whole time heard Mando 4 was really important to getting to Dave's movie. And then it would be Ahsoka 2 to get to Dave's movie. Those were the two prereqs, right? But now we have Favreau's movie. So Favreau's movie is clearly what that means is there's probably really important stuff that they want on screen that they know they can't make you watch on Disney Plus to see the film. So in my opinion, it would probably be 2027. And I also think that people think like Favreau and Filoni are these separate entities that don't work together, that they're not like a team in that way. If Favreau's movie is the first like thing that comes up after one of these shows, Filoni's going to be involved in that movie. And I believe, I don't know, I think it's out there. I think he's writing it with him.
I would think so.
Yeah, and at least that was an assumption from sources that I've heard.
Yeah,
and you put all that together. Remember, like it's like so they're going to work out how roughly 2 seasons and 2 movies all talk to each other and flow and stuff like that. You can't just go like, well, I'll talk to you later, Favreau. I'm going to go write my movie for 2028 and the Ahsoka series. Talk to you next year. Like, I don't think that's going to be their flow.
Gotcha. You know? Gotcha. Fair enough. Let's switch over to our movies. Let's have a discussion. Ooh. And I've got these in no particular order because we don't know, but we'll talk about it as we go through. The Mando and Grogu movie, I would say that's green and trending up.
Oh, yeah.
Is it active development, pre-production? What would you say?
Yeah, active development. I mean, because I don't think there's any way a script is done, and I don't think they're going to take the 2 episodes and be like, well, there's the script. But right. I do think that if that is what they're doing, it is going to be a little bit easier for them because, like, for instance, if they know in the 3rd act there's a speeder bike chase and that's like the big thing, or a pod race, like they're able to start developing like the concepts and maybe even previs and stuff like that way early, and like where they're going to go. But I do think that one is obviously, if they didn't make that one, like I said, if that movie doesn't happen, if they go, oops, sorry, I quit. I'm just done. I'm done following it. I'm just going to check out.
So we're saying that the target release date on this is going to take that May time slot, May 25?
Yeah. No.
26.
That would be December. Wouldn't it be December 2026? I need to look at, hold on. I'll go to bestmanbulletin.com and see, like I can only think of this stuff as, movie 1, movie 2, and movie 3 at this point, like, because of how they have it set up. But all right, I went to a Bestman article where he didn't say it 5 times. What is going on here? All right, here we go. Yeah, so okay, the 3 untitled Star Wars movies, May 22nd, 2026 would be the first one.
Okay, and we think that's going to be this one.
Yeah, that's if we believe these dates still hold power. I know there was something being shifted. There's something being shifted around with the Avengers or something like that. So it's kind of a whatever on that one. But then the second date is December 19th, 2026. And okay, I'm sorry. So right now, I do not believe the Rey movie will make that release date at all.
Okay. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that. All right. So the Mando ensemble crossover. That's Dave Filoni's movie. I put it in there, right? This is a Dave Filoni movie. We think that that's still green. Some people said, "Oh,
yeah.
wait, yeah."
No,
But there were stories out there saying that they thought that John's movie was replacing Dave's movie, and Dave's movie was canceled
because they didn't read the press release again, and it literally says it in the press release. Like we're doing a Rey movie and we're doing Dave's movie, and Ahsoka season 2 is being kicked around.
Yes. So what would the status of this one be?
I mean, obviously, like really, like not a lot is going on with it. Like probably at the moment, considering what they have to do first. But I mean, it would still be active development because I do think that all of this stuff is being developed together.
And then it
is the dream, by the way, of all of these things talking to each other. Like this is where they try it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it works. And as we've been telling them to do this the whole time. So I'm glad they're finally doing it.
And the story I saw on this said it could be 28?
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
2028.
We're going to say December 2028. Maybe.
Yeah. So at the moment, this is from bestmanbulletin.com. It seems as if Star Wars films are releasing in December of a year, an Avatar film isn't releasing. With the next Avatar movie slated to release in December 2025, December 2029, and December 2031, given that 2028 won't see the release of an Avatar movie, it would make sense to see a Star Wars movie, possibly Filoni's helm, a December 2028 release window. So I think it might have been Snyder who was saying in his newsletter that it was 2028, and then Bespin is guessing that as that December 2028 would be his film.
Very good. Okay, so here we go. Rey's New Jedi Order movie, and I agree with everybody else. I think New Jedi Order would be a terrible title, but that's what we have for now. We'll just use it. It'll change. Let's hope. But this is the Stephen Knight Shinoy, directed by Shinoy. Yeah. I always skip her name because I butcher it every time.
Obey Shinoy. Obey Shinoy, or you will pay the price.
Okay, so Charmin obeys Shinoy. There you go. Thank you. Yeah. So if we say that, what status would you give it? I put amber and even, just as this was my illustration before what they would look like. Yeah. So this holds no weight whatsoever. Is it green? Is it amber? What status would you put?
It's yeah. I mean, I would leave it there. Because Stephen Knight, what if they hate everything he does? And they just throw it in the trash right away?
The story said that his first draft came in and they completely redlined the whole thing, and he had to basically start over.
That was the World of Real thing. Yeah. And I don't know what to believe, but a source of mine was just recently telling me they don't think that there was even a draft submitted.
Okay.
Or anything. So it doesn't. Right. I mean, it might just mean he might mean doesn't mean he didn't do work, but I don't think we're in that spot. And and then of course when you're taking Damon Lindelof's geriatric Rey and turning it into 35-year-old Rey, there's no way that Lucasfilm isn't going to give you copious notes about how they want you to get there.
And I keep hearing this Lindelof geriatric. That was just a rumor. There was never any
Well, if you believe anything that Jeff Snyder's ever said, that's what Jeff Snyder said.
Yeah.
That in Lindelof's draft, she was going to be played by Helen Mirren type, I believe he said.
Right, type. Yeah, type.
Yeah. So anyways, point being, that's Obi-Wan Kenobi Rey, not Luke Skywalker Rey. And Disney, Bob Iger was probably like, what?
Well, and Kathleen Kennedy or Dave Filoni or whoever, right? Because that's my next question that I just don't know the answer to. Is Dave now in that role? So somebody submits a script, a draft, he is the approver. He is the guy.
No, but he's always been on the Lucasfilm Story Group, which is a pure like whenever you're whenever you're writing something, like if you're in a writing group in college or something like that, you have a peer review group who everybody sits in a circle, everybody reads each other's work, and then they critique it, compliment it, give suggestions. He's always been a part of that.
Yeah, but he said specifically he's brought in earlier. Like he is now getting things before, right?
Right. Yeah, so, he won't be reading like their when they're doing like the pitches and stuff. That's right. Yeah, he would be more involved in that phase before they even put the pen down. He would be like, "Oh, you can't do that because Star Wars theory likes muscles, and it's gonna get mad at you if you don't have the muscles." Something like that, you know.
Right,
so
right. So
Star Wars theory here.
I call this amber and even because let's see if this is in sort of we don't have a working first draft. Like the first draft came in and was rejected or turned back, there was no first draft. So we don't have a working draft of the script to even go from, right?
Well, see, technically Lindelof wrote for like 2 years on it. Yeah. So there's probably realistically, I'm just gonna guess and say there's probably about 3 drafts from Lindelof himself, and then it does this big changeover. So this thing is going to be well developed by the time it comes. By the time it comes out, it's going to have gone through quite a bit of change. And but I never thought for a second that Stephen Knight wasn't really going to have to start all the way over. Because the majority of everything that Rey would be doing is completely going to be. I think she's moving from the Obi-Wan Kenobi role into the protagonist role of the film.
Right.
So it's just it is almost a complete start over, but at the same time, like if there's battle A, B, and C, or sequence A, B, and C, those may all be the same. So it might not necessarily be like, oh, we start all the way over they're starting over, but it's not the same as it's starting over with experience. I
was going to couch it this way.
Yeah.
Instead of Obi-Wan Kenobi Rey, we're getting Return of the Jedi Luke Rey, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes past. Now, delusions of grandeur. She's calling herself a Jedi Knight or whatever. I know it's not a parallel, you guys, but I'm just saying it's closer to that because you remember the sequel trilogy all happened in like a space of like this much time.
Right. And I've been under the impression that like this story, it's more of an opinion. It's an impression and an opinion that it's going to be a little bit like almost a religious issue that is pushed Rey out of the forefront of the galaxy. And then there was something, I think it was in Snyder's newsletter, that was saying like, oh, they like the original Lindelof stuff was getting highly political and they were wanting to move out of that a little bit. And when you look at like where we kind of gone since then with the wars with Ukraine and with Israel, like where the world is at today, may not be the best idea to go in and to delve head first overtly into some of those topics, because people will go, oh, this is a pro-Israeli film or an anti-Israeli film or whatever, and it might have backlash that they don't intend, and that's kind of where I think they may be on this. I mean, that's just that's a theory of mine, and
I keep hearing people bring it up in your show where they say maybe this is the opportunity to bring in the storyline like you had in the books, where Leia was primarily rejected because people learned that her dad was Darth Vader. Yeah. So she couldn't be a senator. She couldn't be the new leader of the new Republic. Yeah, she couldn't take Mon Mothma's job. So she kind of got thrown out of politics because of her dad was Darth Vader. Mm-hmm. That's in the books, but nobody reads the books, right? Except me and people who listen to me, whatever. There's a small handful, right?
But once again, it's a big difference between like the millions who will see a film or
right. So I would think then that there's the opportunity to show on film the same sort of dynamic where Rey, she's this new Jedi person, whatever, and people don't know much, and like this thing's happening, and what is going on?
Granddaughter, people don't trust.
Granddaughter of Palpatine. Oh, she's too dangerous, right? And so they start going the direction.
And Palpatine wanted to give you his powers in his empire, and then you came back and nobody else did, though.
Right, so and you've got all this power, nobody else does.
Did he do it? I mean, yeah, I wouldn't trust her. I'd be like, nah, how about you just sit out the rest of your life from everything?
Well, and there's a series of books that I'm starting to cover on my Patreon now, and hopefully I'll get back to it even today. I'm hoping to record another chapter where the universe at large is very distrustful of the Jedi for exactly that reason. Now, this is Legends material. This isn't anything that's in current canon. It's Legends kind of stuff, but they start putting barriers around, walls around, so to speak. Like
we saw it in the Clone Wars, where we started to see there be anti-Jedi protest outside the Jedi Temple, like in the very
like the government itself was starting to institute restrictions on the Jedi, putting personal observers with them everywhere they go, and things like that. So we very well could pick up that kind of thing with a post Tross Ray movie, and that would be fine. Thronkill asked, didn't he just hire Nick Gillard to work with?
Who?
I think he's talking about Stephen Knight.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. I don't know.
I haven't heard. Trucker Mark stopped in. It's good to see you again, Trucker Mark. It's been a minute. Says I broke my candy cane, did 2 Santa Claus gigs. Hey, congratulations. Trucker Mark contacted me. He looks a little bit like me. And he was exploring the idea of becoming a Santa Claus. So he's going to get pictures and a card for next year. Fantastic, Mark. Welcome to the Claus family. Welcome to the Claus family, my friend. Fantastic. Says Cullen said it'd be interesting if some new Jedi sect from Ahsoka is in conflict. Yeah, I've thought that we have the opportunity to introduce different philosophies of Force into the story, and following Tross, Ray could start running into these different kind of Force people who have different philosophy of what the Force is. They call it something else. They have different kind of perspective on it, and tying those together. It could be, but might be too deep of a cut though for a movie. But anyhow, target release date. You were just saying you don't believe it's going to get the December 26th time.
I don't. I just don't. I would love to be wrong, because I don't think it's a good idea for them either. I think Mando would be the way to go. Mando movie. Then start the Ray stuff. But I don't think they'll do that. And the fact that Dave's movie is in 2028 now means, well,
I'm going to put it in here so that I can be wrong and you can
that is what they are. That is what you should put.
Okay.
But I just don't believe it. That's all.
Oh, very good. And see, again, this is the idea. If they were to give us a real thing, they were telling the truth, and then this date changed, then the news could come out about that, right?
Yeah.
Dawn of the Jedi, James Mangold's film. Where do you think that lies in its?
So yeah, that's the one where I'm also like, why this one? Why now? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't think it fits with their rollout in any way. But it is the one that they are putting. They also put it in the press release to assure people that it is still alive and active and coming. And so that one should be the third film, basically, according to them, in that rollout. But if the Filoni movie is 2028 now, I'm not sure where that puts Dawn of the Jedi.
So do we call Dawn of the Jedi green or amber?
Well, according to them, it would be green, and according to them, it would be the 20. It should have been the 2027 film. Originally, it was the third one, but now they've added another movie. So, in reality, they were saying 20. But once again, I don't believe that one either. You know what I mean? Right now, I don't.
Okay, we'll put that, and this would be fun because when it changes, we can change it.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
Lando movie, the Glover brothers. Does it deserve to go down, or do we leave it here? What do we do with this one?
This one is the one I don't have any idea what you do with it. You know what I mean? Because I just don't see how it fits into their slate before 2030 or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't really make. It doesn't really.
I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it. Well, I want to ask about all four of these. Right? Well, now we should take them one by one. I'm going to take the Lando, and I'm going to move it down because who knows what's going on with that, right?
Yeah.
I just don't know. And so, do you call it amber? Do you call it red? Is it what would we even say about it?
Yeah, it's such a weird one. Lando, it's never officially been acknowledged as a movie. It was acknowledged as I don't think so, anyways, and it was acknowledged as a TV series at first, announced as a TV series. Then it changed, completely changed the talent behind it. The talent behind it was supposed to be writing on it, but also Glover has other shows that he's working on. There's a rumor that he's going to do a tour. I don't actually, that might already be happening. I'm not sure now.
Yeah, it
What
is
happened-
happening. Supposedly he was writing while he's on tour.
Yeah, which makes sense. When you travel a lot, you have a lot of just sitting down.
Yeah.
I don't think so. It may. I would do that if I were him. But
Um,
yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I would put. I don't. It's weird because as far as the process, I would give it an amber. But when you look at like the reality of like, what are the odds of them going like, okay,
Okay, I'll do this.
Yeah.
I'll do this. I'll do this.
It's a hard one.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Amber trending down.
Yeah.
Um,
There you go. I think that's fine.
Taika Waititi, same.
You see, like, and then Taika's one. That's another hard one because they love him. They really do want to do his movie. Like they want to do his movie. Like they want it to happen. And he was, if they had their way, he would have already have done it.
Right.
And so I am actually confident that the Taika movie will happen. I think that the only way I think it doesn't happen is if Taika just strikes out time and time and time again between now and when they get to go into production on that one. You know what I mean?
Amber down as well.
That was an amber down too. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, but I'll leave it above the line. Right.
Okay.
I'll leave it above the line. Current status, same thing, unclear.
He says he has to write like a couple of things before he goes back to like finishing it. I think he said.
Okay.
So he's doing. So it's like it's definitely down the road. And
all right, we'll leave it there for now. Now, also came out in the newsletter, and then Bespin reported on it as well. There's some discussion, and some of the confusion here comes again because people's reading comprehension is pretty low, and people read into it different kind of versions of what they hear.
Yeah.
And Jeff Snyder seemed to say like Levy's movie is going to have Ray involved in some capacity. He didn't say it's a Ray-led movie. He didn't say that it is that he was going to take over for Stephen Knight when Stephen Knight gets in.
They don't go in like lineup cameos like 3 or 4 years in advance. She's going to be a character in it. She's going to be like if we take the Snyder stuff, she is going to be a player in it. She's not going to walk on like, hey, Snips, and then be a ghost and fade away. Like she's going to really be in it. He would not be hearing about it. They wouldn't be lining up and Levy's movie. So if that's what he's heard, I'm think it's accurate. Then I do think I'm thinking he has a concept that plays down the line. So I'm considering it a Ray sequel until we hear something more clear.
A Ray sequel. Trucker Mark, I just checked my Twitter X account. I do not see the photos there yet. The question is, did you tag me like just in the feed? Did you message them to me privately, or how did you communicate that? And did you send it to Star Wars Santa at Twitter, or did you send it to Brian Miller? I don't know which one did you send it to. And I'm Brian with a Y, if anybody doesn't know that. So I'm gonna put the Sean Levy movie.
Besman on my show was talking yesterday, and he mentioned something that he had heard that he told me about a little while ago. That Levy one was one that what did he say? It was a goer, is what was the term that people were using for it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So we're going to call it green. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think strangely, trend. Yeah, I would put those as right now, just from the word with sources is sounds good.
Okay. Would you say active development or pre-product? What would you call it?
Yeah, active development would
That's
be.
what
Yeah.
And do we have a target release window for this? It'd be after the Rey's Jedi Order movie, presumptively, right?
Yeah. I would, if that Ray stuff is accurate, I would have to think that the Ray one comes before it. Obviously, everything about that one would say it comes after.
Okay. I'll just put undefined. Undefined. What? Who knows?
Yeah.
I just put. All right, and then I'm going to move Ryan Johnson's officially down into the. It's not an active discussion. I don't. It'll ever happen. I personally, just my own, like Brian Miller, how I care about it. I hope it does happen. I like Ryan Johnson. I like Last Jedi. I would be great for that. But
I think he has a trilogy of stories that will interface with that Dawn of the Jedi concept thing. I don't think I don't think his stuff is like the first one. I think it's a story related to that idea, and I think that there's been everything has had to happen. I don't think his thing could even happen until other things happen. That's my theory about what's going on there.
All right. So I put it in the dormant, not happening kind of
And
thing.
heck, he might even have been the first person to kick it off, and because we know that first Jedi concept has gone through several different creators over time.
Here's a good one. Stephen Murphy brought up. What about that droid story thing?
Yeah.
What happened to that?
Yeah,
Nobody's heard a thing on it.
We heard what we think was some test stuff going on for it at Pinewood, and then we had the guy who plays Anthony Daniels do like a little thing about his like mocap stuff, and then we never had anything else. So I can't hear you now. I lost your audio. Is that you or me? It's you.
Sorry, I clicked. I missed. Okay, yeah, I'll put a droid story down here. A droid story, and I don't know who was directing that.
Yeah, that was like an ILM X Labs thing project initially.
I'm just going to put Amber and Even because I just don't know.
I'd put them as both as red. Honestly,
Red?
I don't. Yeah, there has been absolutely no development that we've heard of at all, and I wondered about it though, because I mean it's up to you if we want to put it red, but yeah, I think it stalled out. I think it stopped. I don't think it's moving forward now.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like a VR like directed movie and all of this stuff. And there's just like a chance that like the normal people who would make something like make films and get around, it's just a whole different circle, and that's why. But it should have been out by now for starters. And we haven't even heard that like anybody who's been cast in it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So.
I agreed. And we know nothing. Well, this was fun. Jason, thank you for playing along, going through the exercise. I think I will do a little survey thing and send it out, at some point so that people can give us their votes on it, and we'll see where this goes. I have a Mike Porter dad joke, and Mike Porter is he's at least aiming at the target. He stay on target. He's
Star Wars joke is what you mean? Star Wars joke?
The Mike Porter dad joke. When a lightsaber is not handy, what does a Jedi use?
What?
A ray gun.
There we go. We go.
With all the story of Ray this week, the Ray movie. Oh, good job, Mike Porter.
I find this jokes to be a little repetitious sometimes. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mike nailed it. It was good. That was good. So thank you for that. Yeah, the Sabersmith says Snyder sounded a little confusing yesterday. I'm guessing that he's trying to walk a tight line and doesn't want to say certain things, because the way it's being interpreted by some people is that when they can, Stephen Levy's going to take over. Sean Levy's going to take over Stephen Knight's job, but he didn't say that.
No,
but that's how it's being read by some.
In fact, I mean, no, he Snyder had that theory in his newsletter. He theorizes it in his newsletter, and then when he says the theory, then people are not understanding. But you could see it in his newsletter what his actual intent is with it, and he's like, oh well, maybe Levy will just take over that in the end. But when you get down to it, taking on 2 Star Wars films like on the thing is a gargantuan kind of thing. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't. That doesn't really feel like it could work. I don't even know if it could work with what's up with Deadpool and Deadpool's future right now.
Yeah.
So
I got a couple of things just announcements. I have not had my January members only Zoom call yet. This last Monday was a holiday. This coming Monday, my wife has a little medical procedure going on. I'm taking a day off to drive her to and from. This isn't anything serious, but my wife is a cancer survivor. She's had cancer and had surgery for that in the past. And so as a result of that, she has to go through more kind of closely watched.
Right.
So Monday, we've got a procedure that people over 50 have to go through, but she has to do it more frequently than other people because of the history with cancer. So Monday I'm taking off, so I will not be able to do that Zoom call on Monday. So my plan is to do it the last Monday of the month. We'll postpone it for one more week. And again, Tuesday, if Hasbro does something more than just repackage repaints, I will do a live stream following it as a recap of the Hasbro event. And if by some miracle they were to release blurgs or even a pipeline blurg or mention blurgs is a possibility, I will gladly come onto a live stream and celebrate that loudly with my friends. And I will try to get my other friends on the stream. I'll try to get Boss Bounty or Only One Kenobi to join me.
Film right now, I'm hearing a lot of delays and intentions. I mean,
yeah.
Hey, Kathy Kennedy.
Look, I take all my lessons from Lucasfilm and trying to get a job. I know.
Yeah.
So that'll be Tuesday possible stream. I would love to do another Guardians of the Wills where it's a community stream. I let you all of our YouTube members and our Patreon subscribers come onto the stream and talk about Star Wars. I've been dying to do that. I've been wanting to do that, but my work has been keeping me too busy. I haven't been able to do it. So I would love to do that hopefully next Thursday. And I've been wanting to do a stream with this guy, Astromech Jeremy. There's a plan in the works at some point. I would love to do a Mount Rushmore of droids in Star Wars. Who is your Mount Rushmore of droids? I saw Jeremy sent me.
R5's on it. R5 is on it.
This guy. Yeah. Well, I don't know. It gets tough when you have to narrow it down to 4 because I don't know how you do. I don't know how you do a Mount Rushmore without C-3PO and R2-D2. Of course. That narrows it down to 2. Then you add Chopper because
BB-8's gonna beat Chopper on that.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying Chopper couldn't get arrested like at this point. Maybe when all the movies are out, maybe but right now.
Filling those last 2 spots is hard. Somebody gets left out because there's K2. I love K2SO. Chopper. You've got BB-8. You've got the list is IG-11. There's a lot of droids that are really really tough to just. Yeah, and Jeremy says I think we may have to do a celebrity death match. It's a difficult decision. You get down to that last one. So I
love Chopper for the record. I just he's an emerging founding father of the droids. He's not,
So I want to do a Guardians of the Wheels with Jeremy, with Astromech Jeremy, and do our.
I watch that.
Okay,
that.
excellent. So those are some things that I want to do. I want to have, and hopefully we can get back to that kind of schedule.
Oh yeah, can Abu Frick be the guy who chisels it like together?
Yeah, there's you've got Hu Yang, right? Jeremy's going to DM me. Great. All right, we'll get that planned. So again, Jason, thanks for hanging out. I had fun doing this.
Yeah,
I thought it was informative. I thought it was a nice discussion, and now we've got at least a pin on the board of what we think, and we can revisit this from time to time and move things around, confirm where we're right, change things where we're wrong, and just have fun with it. It's a lot more fun than just the rage videos about Lucasfilm doesn't know what they're doing. Well, they don't, but at the same time, if they would just do this, like for real, and like do it earnestly and honestly, and like put some actual weight behind it, this would be a source people would go to and they would report from, and they could actually control the narrative to some degree, at least put some direction to the narrative, when people could go and say, look, this is a reliable source. That's the key. It has to be reliable. And there's where the whole thing falls apart. They'll never do it. I could dream. It's like me dreaming Hasbro making a blurg. It could happen.
Yeah, no. Number one, I don't think like they're ever going to want to tell you the health of their projects. That will never, ever, ever happen. They will always lie to you straight up PR style. But it would not be bad to have a like what's coming from Star Wars kind of page with just stupid logos on it, even just so that way you even know what they intend to do. Like there's right now there's some guy who was like, I thought Rogue Squadron was coming out, who doesn't have any idea that it's
right.
ever, stuff like that. It would be kind of nice, but
right. It would be great.
You did it for him, so that's good.
There you go. My contact information's out there, Lucasfilm. Call me up.
Yeah, this guy can do Excel spreadsheets all you want. He'll do it.
Look, I could do it in Oracle database. I can build web pages that actually build these things for you and give you an interface and let you guys put all the data in there. I can do it.
Standing in the streets, spreadsheets. I don't know. I'm trying to make it work for you. I'm trying to market you to them. It's hard.
All right, you guys. Skywalker Dale wants he wants the green, amber, and red lights. I thought about actually doing that, but then I thought, no, that's too much effort for what this is.
Lightsabers, like little lightsabers, the blue,
right.
Yellow. No, okay,
right.
Okay, right. It was adorable in my head.
It'd be great. It'd be great. All right, you guys, have a wonderful day. I had a great time today, and you guys have a wonderful weekend. And hopefully, we'll see you early next week. If not, this guy's been carrying the weight, right? He's been doing the burden. He's been doing the daily updates and having his stream through the week. So
it's screwing it up.
It's been great. I've been listening to Jason when I've been working and listening to you and Rob and Bespin. So thanks for all you're doing, Jason. Bespin, thank you, sir. And everybody here in the stream, Mike Porter, everyone, thank you for being here. And one more reminder, if you can help Sheev out, please do. Otherwise, thank you all. And until next time, my friends, Merry Christmas, and may the Force be with you always. Bye-bye.